flags twirling idly in midair, lusting after rotted carrion fruits, finding only the flaky bones of my intentions, hurled over the rocky cliffs of your promises. Scores of flies teem my windowsill horizon, clouding the walls and carrying away my memory, picking the teeth of my bed springs, scouring the floors I stand on. Lift me now, you trash eaters and thunderbugs. Scoop me under a floating black puddle of your rickety bodies, all clinging and bumbling under the stress of your efforts. Clean me if you must in your damnable fashion. Lick me and dissolve me, but get me out of this prison. The oil yards here billow death into the sky. The railroads drill disease into our countryside. The chemical plants crystallize the water they straddle, forcing it to crumble under its own weight, and the rivers are piling outside my window. My stale sandwich gives you reason enough to breed. My cell is a just carcass to house your young, writhing away in blind squirming piles like they are. I am losing patience to be born into the rubble of your future, dying to live under the rotted umbrella of your city, killing away the mass of her progress, and within the currents of foul air that suspend us, obliterating your rosy measure of solution, overriding your tact and cunning, all dripping in finery and precision, abhorring any answers, rejecting your solid builders. We are the flies of City Cross. So, this will be self-explanatory. This is from the Blue Team In. It's for sale for $10 a piece. Chapter 2, The Hangman. What's this guy's name again? He's an Arab we hired on at the dock. What's his name? Does anyone know? Nickel, that's no name for an Arab. Nickel, can you hear me? I awoke below decks on the dining room table. He's opening his eyes. He'll be fine. Get him a nip of rum. Briefly stated, my name in Arabic is Mukhtar. In Spanish, Nicholas. On a boat, I prefer that people call me Nickel. What happened to you, boy? We had one hell of a time pulling you down from the mizzen. You were hanged upside down by one leg. The tangle of ropes that snagged you actually saved your life when you fainted. But you would have smashed your head against the mast had we not cut you free. Handley, the bosun, put both hands down beside me on the table. An Englishman by birth, the seas had tanned his skin and he suffered from a permanent squint. He could command a crew or berate them with equal ease in Spanish, French, or English. He was fully invested in the men of his charge, and he had never seen me before. Thank you, I said, rising. I assure you, I'm quite all right now. I stumbled, sliding off the table, trying to remove myself from the center of attention. Don't mention it. Now, what happened up there? It won't ever happen again, I said, stirring uncomfortably. He gave me a stern look. What happened? Are you fit to work? Quite all right, sir, I assure you. We need every hand ready and able. I can't have you dropping unconscious on duty. If there's something I need to know, then let's have out with it. How soon will we get to port? He looked at me shrewdly. We're not due in port for 2 weeks. Why? Oh, okay, sir, I'd rather not keep watch from the mizzen nest. The bosun's eyes screwed up a bit. I've only done that once before for a couple weeks, right? And only on the Mediterranean. This is a whole new game. He leaned over the table at me. I'd rather work in the galley. He jumped. Helping the cook? Mopping, cleaning below. I gestured around us. That's what I'm good at. He was moon-eyed. But you signed up for mizzen! That's what they told me I would do. Who signed you on? I looked down. I was practically a castaway on a Dutch-built pinnace called the Ladybird, crewed by Spaniards, most knowing one another from other voyages, headed for trade in the Caribbean Sea. I owed a great gambling debt in Seville due to my own compulsions. The only way out was to jump a packet, make haste to Gibraltar, and sign on with the first ship headed out. My hope was, aside from being forcibly away from games of chance and the casino thugs, to earn back my sum and pay it upon return. How did you get here? He pounded his fist into the table. I signed on at the port. I'm sorry, but I don't remember seeing you there. I think the captain had already boarded. Yes, I remember now. You were also aboard. Operations were underway, and there was a situation near mizzen. I wasn't sure, but then because my gaze was in that direction at the time, the man just pointed and told me board. I signed right on and ran up to mizzen nest and started helping. For Christ's sake! Why? Well, yes, we needed the help, but you should have told someone. What? What you do, what you're good at. Well, okay, now I should tell him. This is as good a time as any. What? He said, looking at me dead in the eye. I'm actually what? The others leaned in. I'm actually physically ill when I see the open sea. You? What? You are a sailor, aren't you? When I need to be. And what does that mean? It means that, yes, I have a touch of the nerves. Wide open spaces affect me. Then why, sir, have you chosen to work on a ship for a living? A few were chuckling. Because it's the best way I know to earn money for a time without spending it. Fair enough. How do you survive on a ship at sea? Tell me that. I work in the galley, and I can also stand night watch when everyone else needs to sleep. That statement seemed to meet with no small amount of satisfaction. A few grunts emanated. Very well. So a dark sea doesn't affect your illness? Not in the least. Well, I can see well in the dark. I don't need much sleep, and if there's any disturbance, I'm immediately responsive. And storms? No problem. I'm as sure-footed as they come. Sounds all right, then. We'll start you working the mizzen by night, right away, and then we'll switch you to watch as the need arises. Fair enough. Anything else? Well, I'm destined in galley during the day, so I don't have trouble stopping for prayers. Stopping for prayers. I pray 3 times a day, briefly during work shifts, if my job allows. You're a Mohammedan. Yes, sir. What are you doing in Spain? What's anyone doing in Spain? I'm making a living. The war ended hundreds of years ago. Silence. There was not a Muslim in the lawn. After all, we taught your people seafaring. That's what I added. Hansley folded his arms. Is that so? Well, we taught your people shipbuilding. Well, that could be said, but said another. Samuel interrupted us with an emotive glare on his face. There's a storm. A big one. Said someone else, looking around him as if to reckon its direction. Surely, behind the normal sounds of the sea was a whine. It was like a churning of a windmill grindstone against a rusty metal plate. It was a cyclone approaching from the southeast. We looked at one another. I saw the boatswain listening, calculating, and then he spoke. It'll be on us in less than a day. It's probably tightening. We need every hand available to lower all masts and secure every sail, chain, shank, and every last goddamn bauble on this ship. I want the sails folded and bound triple tight at the base of each mast. Anything that you don't want to cave your skull in has got to be triple tight. Once this ship starts rocking, I want the base of each mast to be padded enough so that when our bodies are rendered into projectiles, we can spare as many shattered limbs as possible. And from the depth of that whine, I'm gauging the cyclone won't be over in a day either. So practice your grip, mates, because we'll need to be as nimble as lemurs for the next 3 days. Someone wake the captain.